With somebody with high stress and high anxiety background like myself, it's scary. When I look into the research that's coming out today, how stress is closely linked to death, and how people who don't know how to understand how to process stress, well, they're the ones who actually end up suffering, and our health takes a massive toll in regards to this. And that's why, Insider, if you're somebody who's naturally prone to stress and anxiety like myself, it's important you understand how to control your inner world. And that's why I'm going to share with you the 5 mindset secrets that you got to know that I use every single day to be able to perform on new heights. Make sure to pay close attention, especially to the final one, Insider, because this is something that you can use right now to be able to get more peace and feel more joyful in this moment. Before we begin, I want you to take a deep breath in. That's it. Come on along with me. And a deep breath out your mouth. Relax. Be present with me. Don't allow this monkey in your mind to try and skip this video because you've ended up here for a reason. Be present. Your future self will thank you for it. Let's go straight onto the first point. You got to let go. All stress is nothing than a byproduct of life not fitting your pictures. That's all it is. Right now, you want life to look in a specific manner. You want people to be exactly like how you're picturing in your mind. And whenever those rules are broken in your psychology, the way you're attaching that meaning is actually resulting in you feeling more anxious and more stressed. The question you got to ask yourself, Insider, is who made up these rules? Because there could be somebody, for example, some people, they say, oh, I'm so stressed in my own business. Imagine if Richard Branson, who owns 400 plus, however many companies he's got today, imagine if he is put into the same shoes where this guy is having an overwhelming amount of things that's happening in his single business. Well, Richard Branson would feel like he's on freaking holiday. Why? Because of different rules that's happening in his psychology. What you got to ask yourself right now, Insider, is what have you made the rules in your psychology to mean to you? And one of the things you got to begin to do is just let go. Let go of the pictures you've got in your mind right now in regards to what life needs to look like. Because this is life. You're living it right now. Every single second is a moment in your life. So instead of trying to have control of what's happening out there, let go of control. That's beyond your control. You can't control it. Let it be. Control your reaction to it. You've made up the rules from your conditioning, your upbringing, from what you've studied into. You made up these rules in your own psychology, meaning you can change it. So stop trying to control things in the outer world. Let go of control. Relax. Nothing is under control. And when you are at total peace with that, when you can be calm amongst the storm, that's when you realize that you can be at total peace in this present moment. So just let it go right now. Whatever you think about, just let it be. That's how it is. Stop trying to compress it and stop trying to tell yourself, I want it like this, Tim, because it's not. It's not happening like that. So let it go. Be present in this moment. That's the first thing. The second thing is strong wins. And this is a conditioning of mentally strong people, high achievers, successful individuals. The reason why successful people can handle overwhelming amount of workloads but still perform on a whole another level is because they can handle the strong wins and they've changed the rules and the meaning in their psychology. Remember, whatever meaning you've given to your life and your work is either going to draw you to success or draw you to failure. So you got to ask yourself, if you are more stressed on a day-to-day basis, you got to ask yourself, what's the meaning I've given this situation? How can I change it? What successful people have all got in common is they do not see obstacles or issues as issues. Jack Ma says how he never complains. And in fact, whenever his customers complain, he just listens, right? Because he sees opportunities whenever there are complaints of their customers or obstacles. He sees opportunities where everybody else is overwhelmed and thinking, oh my God, my business is falling down. So you got to realize that successful people, they process obstacles differently. They see it as an opportunity. And how you got to process it is like this. Realize that strongest trees don't grow in the best soil. They grow in the strongest winds. Every single time you're going through an obstacle, remember this. Remind yourself that you're being shaped into the person you're born to be. Because in order for you to live the life you're born to live, you got to transform yourself into the person you were born to become. It's simple as that. So whenever winds of life is coming, don't tell yourself, oh, I really don't want this. Realize what it's really doing. It's strengthening you. It's nourishing you. It's giving you a new opportunities to shine, to build up on your mental fortitude. Therefore, it's a blessing in disguise. Today, whenever I'm dealt with bad news, I'm at total peace because I realize life is shaping me. And every single obstacle you've ever gone through inside it, you'll realize how those were the times in your life where you were shaped. You don't get shaped when you're sitting on the beach on a holiday sipping margaritas. Your life transforms. You transform whenever you're tested, whenever you're down on your luck. So embrace it. And when you begin to do that, you'll realize that life is beautiful. It's all part of the journey. Life has got the polar opposites, both the yin and the yang, the up and the down, the masculine and feminine. So knowing this in advance, whenever you're going through the bad times, realize it's shaping you so you can really live in the good times. So don't say to yourself, I really don't want the bad, because it's part of life. It's what helps you to grow. And when you grow, then you can live the life you're born to live. So embrace the strong winds. It's there to serve you on a higher level. As Steve Jobs once said, you cannot connect the dots looking forwards. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. So have full trust in whatever you're going through right now. Have full trust. Be in this moment and realize it's serving you. And look back at any moments in your life where it was hard and you realize if you hadn't gone through that, you wouldn't be here with me right now in regards to where you are in your career or whatever it may be. So embrace the strong winds. Another thing that you got to do today, I highly recommend if you are somebody who's naturally prone to stress, is to interrupt. Whenever you're going through an emotional state such as stress, you are caught up in a pattern. It's almost like a hamster on a wheel trying to move forwards, but it can't. It's just on a wheel. And so in order for you to stop feeling this emotion, you've got to get off the wheel. So whenever you're working and you find yourself always stressed, well, interrupt that pattern. If you haven't taken a day off in a long time, take that day off, but don't just, for example, lounge about, watch TV. Go outside in nature, try something new, interrupt the pattern, because what that's going to do is going to jolt your system. And whenever you come back, and you'll realize you come back much stronger with more clarity and more passion. And that's why every now and then I take really big leaps in trying something new, adventurous, trying something that involves maybe getting to some vantage point. I love, for example, traveling and so forth, because whenever I'm on the plane, I can look down and I can see how we're just so insignificant if you really think about it. How people think the world is, got all the attention on us, but in reality, when you're looking down on top of the plane, you realize we're like a tiny little ants. And if you zoom out even further, realize if you're looking at the Earth as the globe, you realize how we are really just insignificant creatures. We're just going through our own emotional meaning of what life means to us. And so do something that allows you to interrupt this. Maybe go on top of a skyscraper, get that vantage point, and that will allow you to be at peace and realize this is all just happening in here, because we're attaching our own meanings to reality, and life becomes what we make it mean to us. And that's what it's all about. You've got to know how to interrupt this pattern. So make sure you plan something in advance inside it that allows you to do that. The fourth thing is you've got to get great at gardening. What do I mean by this? Your mind is like a garden. Whenever you're thinking positive thoughts, there are positive, beautiful roses and flowers blossoming. Whenever you are thinking negative thoughts, there's weeds coming all of a sudden and making the garden look ugly. You gotta train your mind, recondition your mind to think positive thoughts. Whenever you notice a negative thought, remember, that's like a weed in the garden. You're going to take away the weed. How? By focusing on the roses, by focusing on the beautiful elements of the garden. And by focusing on that, you're going to let these weeds slowly but surely die down. So you got to become conscious of the thoughts that's going on. And whenever you find yourself, you're almost putting the world's weight on your shoulders, begin to focus on gratitude, gratefulness. Think about this right now. What are you truly grateful for? It may be a hard question to answer, but realize that there is always something that you can be truly grateful for. Even if you, for example, have seen the odds of you being born, 400 trillion to 1, and you realize how you've been given this life. You've been blessed with life. Every time your heart's beating, you're not having to think about your heart beating, but it just beats. And the moment it stops, guess what? Your life is gone. Have you ever really stopped to think about that? Treasure every single moment. Be in this moment because you are alive. Yes, whatever's happened, it sucks, but you can't change it. You can change, however, how you're going to be moving forwards. Don't carry the world's weight on your shoulders that happened yesterday. Yesterday's the past. Be present in this moment and move forwards. And that way you can grow and you can reduce this anxiety and stress. That's the fourth. The fifth is you got to disconnect. Whenever I feel stressed or anxious, I do not turn to digital devices. Because, for example, email notifications, Facebook, Instagram, and we reach millions of people every single month. So you can imagine a lot of messages coming through. Last thing I want is for me to feel more overwhelmed with the amount of messages that's coming in. So I just disconnect. Part of my morning, evening routine, whenever I do it, I feel absolutely amazing. I don't feel stressed throughout the day. Whenever I don't do my morning or evening routine, I feel terrible throughout the day. So make sure you have a disconnect routine, a ritual where you can really calm the mind, where you can meditate, where you can go for a breathing practice. Something which I've shown before. You can try this out right now after today's video and you'll notice a huge difference. Have a look. So I do this, and as I lift my hands up like this, I take a deep lung breath in through my nose and then push all the way out my mouth. That counts as 1 rep. Do 30 of those and you will notice an instant calmness in regards to anxiety and stress. Insider, these are the 5 of many ways that I use every single day to calm myself so I feel less stress. And this is what allows me to be a high performer. Because realize this, Insider. Yes, you may feel calm whilst on holiday. Yes, you may feel great when things are going great, but that's not high performance. High performance and being a peak performer, being successful, is your ability to maintain that performance no matter what. That's the difference between winners and losers. So do whatever it takes, Insider, to keep on reconditioning your mind. And if you found today's video helpful, be sure to pay this video forward to a loved one or a friend who needs to hear this message, because life is all about giving after all. So do your act of kindness today. Like this video if you like this video, and comment below what should be your biggest takeaway that you're going to utilize and act on right now. As always, Insider, follow your heart, my friend, and take action and go live the life you're truly born to live. I'll see you on the next video soon. Be calm, be present today. I believe in you. Speak soon.